I bring refugees from Boonton County and have a station in Morristown. I have one refugee from Syria 1 year later. My card, we can help you guys.
My name is Marion Jacobson, and I'm so excited you're here. I'm the co-organizer of today's visit from NJ11 for Change. We started out with 2 ladies from Montclair and Aura, and now look at us. I look downstairs. I could not stay away. I could not stay home. As a granddaughter of Jewish immigrants, I am a beneficiary of this country's tradition of openness and generosity. My grandmother back in Poland escaped violent pogroms, which are uprisings where entire villages of Jews were attacked. My grandfather fought in World War I. Many of us have risked our lives and shed blood to defend the idea that human rights transcend geography, culture, and religion.
This week, Trump issued a sweeping immigration ban on the grounds of religion or nationality. The ban is reckless. It needlessly raises tensions worldwide, and it matters greatly to our neighbors here in the district. It matters to the safety of U.S. men and women stationed in Iraq, Afghanistan, and around the world. Why did the congressman only criticize the execution of the ban and not its content?
I am the daughter of a Muslim vet. He served actually out of Fort Dix, New Jersey, where Representative Frelinghuysen also went to boot camp. And he was serving the U.S. Army and the National Guard for 8 years, honorably, and this is his grandson. And I am here to speak against the Muslim ban. It is a very discriminatory ban. I do appreciate his comments on it. He did raise some concern, but we as his constituents feel that he needs to take a stronger stance and really take it upon himself to have moral courage during this time.
A few of us ladies were the pioneers to establish the Islamic Center in Boonton, and some of the ladies are still here with me, to establish a community center to serve the community. And I came here on left the country at the age of 21 on an American scholarship. Wow. So I loved America. I'm a devoted American citizen.
What we really want the congressman to do is to actually condemn the action. The statement is not condemning the action. It's not condemning the ban. It's not taking a position against the ban. And we would really want him to stand up for the Muslim community. We've backed him over the course of many years. We want him to stand up for us. We want him to stand up for the American values that this country has always stood for.
I'm an immigrant. So I came here at a very young age, went through the public school system of Boonton, went to Stevens Institute of Technology. When I hear the ban on immigration, right, I immediately think of myself, right? Think about, if this ban affected me, which it could very well in the very near future, what would that mean, right? I try my hardest to give back to the community. I go and, volunteer at soup kitchens. I organize, fundraisers and stuff for various causes. This is all stuff that matters in the real world, right? And I'm not doing this as a Pakistani. I'm doing it as an American, because really I was raised here. I owe it to America, right? And then I hear about this ban, and everything about it seems so un-American.
We really want him to condemn this. We want him to call it out for what it is. It's a Muslim ban. It discriminates against us, and he needs to be more forceful in that. He needs to support us. All of us voted for him. We're Americans. We love the country. So now it's his turn to support us and speak up for us.
But the main concern that I have is the culture that the administration is pushing of discrimination, Islamophobia, and hateful rhetoric that they have not denounced and that they have really embraced. While living in Boonton, it's a diverse community. I feel safe personally, but I know many people that don't. My husband is a refugee who came when he was 1 year old. And this is the culture of America, that we accept, the destitute or the poor or anyone, but we also make them feel welcome.
No refugee from these 7 countries have ever killed anyone on U.S. soil. And it actually feeds into the actual rhetoric that the terrorist organization like ISIS and Al-Qaeda feeds into how they radicalize others. So does this actually make us safer as a country by President Trump issuing this ban?
This ban has made us less safe, and it is against everything we stand for. And it is not a coincidence that Saudi Arabia is not included because Mr. Trump has business interests there. We need Rodney Frelinghuysen to stand up for what is right. I am a member of 500. I'm in a group called Chatham Moms for Change. Not just the 500 of us, but we have spouses and family. We are about 1,000 voters that are watching. We also want to protect the ACA. I want to protect the EPA, the arts. It goes on and on.
I'd really love to know his thoughts on even just the changes in the fiduciary rules that Mr. Trump is going to set forth today, loosening the requirements for financial advisors to operate in the interest of their clients instead of their own personal interest. I think a lot of senior citizens are going to be at enormous financial risk once this rule is loosened. I have no idea what Rodney Frelinghuysen thinks about this, or truly about anything. I think it's unconscionable that he hide from his constituents.
So I'd like to just say, born and raised in Boonton, New Jersey, I feel like we're going backwards. I don't want to have to feel unsafe at the end of the day. I have a 1-year-old child, and I shouldn't have to think twice about stepping out of the house. I have felt the effects for a while now, and it's just, it's ridiculous. I'm a human being. I deserve mutual respect. I wouldn't disrespect somebody. This isn't what our country stands for.
Don't support Trump and be nice to the people.
An American Muslim, born here in Parsippany, New Jersey. Went to school, grew up civil engineer here, and basically speaking against the social injustices, the Muslim ban, the wall in Mexico, and basically a lot of these social injustices that the not only is Trump but the Republican Party has been standing up for or with. So that's our main thing, is just speaking out against social injustices.
In 1971, April 20th, the Jewish Center of West Orange on Pleasant Valley Way was bombed, actually bombed. And this week, the JCC in West Orange was one of 17 JCCs around the United States that was threatened with a bomb and had to be evacuated. So in the past month, 48 Jewish centers across the U.S. have received a series of coordinated bomb threats. Dramatic uptick. Many families send their children there for preschool, as people of all ages have programs there. But when I called the office, both in Washington and here, what I was told was that the congressman wasn't aware of this event even happening, and they hadn't discussed this with him. And I was asking for a statement to come out in support against this kind of hate crime. Steve Bannon has been appointed to the NSC without proper qualifications, while senior military officials are taking a back seat by invitation coming to these meetings. Senate Armed Services Committee Chairman John McCain called the move a radical departure. Our national security depends on this. Will Representative Frelinghuysen join his Republican colleague in speaking out against this move, and will he vote for the Congressional H.R. 804 to remove political advisors from the NSC and restore military experts' presence on all council meetings?
Why hasn't Representative Frelinghuysen responded to thousands of constituents requesting a town hall?
Will he be available during district week for a town hall meeting?
I don't know about his schedule on that. It would take a little bit more planning than that to find a venue and that sort of thing.
We've offered multiple times to help with finding a venue, and that offer still stands. We actually have a number of venues lined up if he would be willing to consider those.
Okay, we'll pass that on to the congressman.
That would be great.
And the other thing I asked at both times when I called, and I'll say it again, I do not want a form letter. I don't. It's insulting. And I don't want to hear anymore when I call, that I have not yet discussed this with the congressman. It sounds like not a single issue is discussed with the congressman.
So I'm sorry that you feel that way. So you would not like a letter in responses?
Not unless it's an individualized letter.
Okay.
Clearly.
Yeah, and those are sent out to constituents. Have you ever received one from us? No?
I received a form letter.
A form letter, yes.
Form letters.
So these are actually individual letters from constituents. And, oops, sorry, one more that wasn't in an envelope. There you go. And these are also statements from people that have their names and their address.
I have signed so many petitions, I have been on so many rallies, and why can't we speak to our congressman? Why can't we speak to him?
He is not what I consider a strong leader. As a matter of fact, I think he is a wimp. As a former Marine officer who served in Korea, I would not want him in my outfit.
We are here very strongly to let you know something is wrong in this system, and we are very passionate about rebuilding relationships respectfully.
I would like to know first what pledges he has signed, such as the Norquist Pledge, that will inhibit his ability to represent me as a citizen taxpayer in this county. I find it irreparable damage being done by putting himself in a box that will not allow him to represent Morris Township, the 11th District, or me in the Township of Morris.
I've been here for 4 weeks now. I'm not going away, and I'm networking with many people. I have yoga students, I have clients, and the numbers are building. So I would like to know where Congressman Frelinghuysen is. I'm more concerned every day, up and down the line, with the things that Trump is doing. So this is the time to show leadership, not to toe the Republican line.
I'm interested in truth and transparency in our government. I feel like Donald Trump's gag orders, the way he pushes the press around, I feel like his hiring of Steve Bannon all indicated this desire to obfuscate what is actually taking place, and I feel like our representative in stonewalling us is participating in that. I also want to say no ban and no wall. I stand with my Muslim brothers and sisters in this world. This is a Muslim ban, whatever they call it, it is a Muslim ban. And that was made clear by Rudy Giuliani on Fox News. It was intended as such, and it is illegal, it being against our Constitution.
I am an immigrant, and I was naturalized citizen 5 years ago. I have participated in every election since then. I do not believe in the values that the Republican Party has been putting out there in the recent past. The stonewalling and the lack of transparency from your government, from this office, is making me into an activist.
I have never been to your office before. I have not been politically active, but what the events that have been going on have definitely moved me to come here and speak my piece.
In the last week, the JCC in West Orange received a bomb threat, and it's one of 48 Jewish community centers in the country that have received those threats. We want to know that Representative Frelinghuysen is doing everything he can to protect minority religious groups and freedom of religion in general.
I am very much opposed to the repeal and replacing of the ACA. I think a lot of people are going to be left out in the cold. And there just doesn't seem to be good planning on the part of the Republican Party and the Trump administration. And I am opposed to any defunding of Planned Parenthood. I think they do a wonderful job screening 4 million people who are disadvantaged and don't have access to health screening. I'm opposed to the travel ban that has just been imposed through an executive order that was not well thought out and was not well executed. And I'm very opposed to the use or the sale of military firearms. And I understand also that Congressman Frelinghuysen just voted yesterday to allow people with mental disabilities who are part of a system and have been deemed incapable of having a firearm and making good decisions. And I know that Congressman Frelinghuysen is highly rated with the NRA.
If he is not going to be the voice for us, then who will be? I think what I am disappointed in is that he has not shown up for us. We're asking him just to hold a town hall, and we haven't heard anything. I want to know where he stands on the immigration ban, because so many of these people that were trying to get in were carrying visas and were allowed to be in this country. And what does the congressman plan to do to perhaps stand up for these people as well? Also, his commitment to the environment. I know that he just signed off on the mining release of waste into the water. So he's not keeping his commitment to, taking care of our land.
When he took on Montclair and West Orange, I think his constituency radically changed, and I hope he's paying attention to the interest of his new constituents. I think that it's his duty to understand his entire base. So the issues I want him to pay attention to in particular are women's reproductive rights and the executive order on immigration, which I think is un-American and unfair.
I have attempted to reach Rodney Frelinghuysen 5 times. I wrote 2 letters, 1 email, called twice. I have never gotten a reply, even a little tiny hello or postcard. I am very concerned about the Affordable Care Act. My daughter is going to lose her insurance. I'm also concerned about some of the Trump moves, including Mr. Bannon. I realize that it's Trump's choice, but I feel that other Republicans might tell him that this is a very bad influence on our government. He is not a true American. He is a white supremacist.
I've also contacted Rodney Frelinghuysen's office twice via email, and I haven't heard any response at all. I was contacting him about the Affordable Care Act. I think that, I happen to be on Medicare, so I have really great insurance, which I hope he continues to support Medicare without changes and without privatizing it. But I also am concerned that everybody should have affordable health care. Secondarily, I'm certainly concerned about the environment and also about women's reproductive rights. And it would be really great to have him come to a town hall.
I was really appreciative about a year and a half or 2 years ago. I was part of a group that met with Mr. Frelinghuysen on the fight against human trafficking. And he was really wonderful to talk to. He heard our concerns, and he did say that it affected his vote. So I was hoping that he could take that kind of position where he would be listening to us about a lot of the concerns that are going on right now. Specifically, one of the things that I know that was just recently voted on was the lifting of the restriction for those who are mentally disabled to be able to purchase guns or not go through the same kind of background checks. My brother and my sister-in-law was a teacher in Sandy Hook. Her classroom was the next room that the gun shooter was going to go into. Her assistant was one of the teachers that was killed. She had brothers and sisters in the classroom that had lost their siblings that were in the classroom next door. I've seen the devastation that's done to my brother and his family, their community, the survivors, and I, in my heart, find it shocking that it would be more important to be able to let everyone carry a gun, whether they've got mental issues or other things, versus looking at those survivors and those that we've lost because of gun control. I'd like Congressman Frelinghuysen to come and speak to us about what are his thoughts about that. Why does he feel that people, regardless of their mental capability, should be able to freely get guns? And what about the carnage and devastation and loss that it's caused? So that's one of the areas I'd like to hear about. I have a chronic health condition. I am terrified of the fact that if this is not kept as part of the Affordable Care Act, that I will have issues getting insurance in the future. I don't know why he can't stand up and be part of a group that says, let's look at what's working with the Affordable Care Act and make the appropriate changes instead of this whole, repeal and whatever. I think that his constituents deserve a town hall meeting, not only so he can hear this personal issues and really understand why these are more than just talking points, but how they really affect people's lives, but so that we can hear from him why he feels the way he does and why he's voting the way he is.
I've been watching his voting record, and I'm convinced that he has lost touch with his constituents. I'm a registered Republican, and I have voted for him in the past. And unless he begins to listen to his constituents now, I will vote for somebody else who's going to listen to us. I'm going to go on record to let you know the issues that I support. Transparent communications, family planning and women's health, gun sense, no wall, no ban. Steve Bannon should not be on the National Security Council.